Hey, I'm excited right now on the MARR Army Rock Show to have Roy Cathey. He's the lead singer from Fayetteville, North Carolina band The Fifth, but you will know him from a lot of other projects as well. Roy, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
So before we talk about some of the amazing things you've done in your career, I want to talk a little bit about your current band, The Fifth. And I was thrilled to see you up in Baltimore area this weekend. How'd you guys get involved in that show? And tell us about the Sleepy Slimy show.
Man, you know, we got to give a big shout out to our buddy Brad Lee. He was the one that made the show happen. He caught one of our shows in Raleigh at the Lincoln Theater. I believe we were opening up for Kicks. And he approached me after the show and said that he would like to work with the band and like to put us on a bill that he was working on M3 weekend. And, you know, one thing led to another, and he had us, and we had a blast, man. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of Brad. He ran a really, really great show, and the fans were fantastic. The venue was fantastic. It was a great experience for us.
Yeah, Brad's a good guy, man. He's been a good friend of the MARR Army Rock Show for quite some time. And so I had an absolute blast watching you guys. I'll acknowledge this. I know who you are, but I haven't seen your band. So for folks that aren't familiar with The Fifth, give us a kind of a recap of the catalog of The Fifth.
Well, you know, The Fifth's been together for about 15 years. We've been kicking around the southeastern circuit for quite some time now. We did a 2008 tour of Japan after we released our Confession of Man CD, which got picked up by EMG Universal for a digital distribution deal. But I put the band together around 2001 when I moved back to North Carolina after living in Los Angeles and living in Atlanta. My father passed away, and I decided to move back home. And, you know, I'm a creative person, and I had to, you know, have music in my life. So, you know, I put the band together, and we started out just doing covers, and then we started writing originals, and then before you know it, we're putting out our first EP and, you know, a full length. I mean, this thing has progressed in a very natural way that I'm very proud of, and us being able to score the distribution deal that we got in 2008, 2009 was a big moment for us because, you know, I mean, Fayetteville, North Carolina, you know, I mean, it's like, who would expect, right? You know, and we had management flying in from Nashville, and, you know, we did this showcase, and, you know, and the band has got a great group of fans that have supported us through the years, and you know, we couldn't be happier with where we're at right now.
So the other big news coming out from The Fifth is about a new music video with some pretty cool production folks you work with. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, you know, we shot a video for a single off of the Confessions of Man CD called The Gift, and we worked with a very talented director named Blake Fawcett. And when it came time to release this new single and do a video, we planned on working with Blake again. And I contacted Blake, and he's like, hey, I'm working with this friend of mine named Justin Reich. He's super talented. It would be me and him doing the video. And I'm like, sure, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down with it. Well, to make a long story short, the day of the shoot come up, and Blake got the flu, and he couldn't make the shoot. So we went and we met with Justin. He did a fantastic job. I mean, he was just so incredibly talented. And then we started, you know, just kind of talking and, you know, just bullshitting with him and everything. He goes, well, you know, yeah, I just got finished wrapping up doing a video for Zach Wild and Black Label Society. And we're like, excuse me? and he's like, yeah. He goes, you know, I met Zach a couple of years back, and, you know, this is like the 4th video that I've done for him, and we're tripping out, you know, because he's based out of, you know, Greensboro, Winston-Salem area here in North Carolina, and he's in a fantastic band called Convicted Fate as well. But, you know, we kind of just latched onto this guy right when his star was taking off, because since we've worked with him, he's done another Black Label Society video. He did a video for Ace Frehley, which featured Paul Stanley. He just got finished shooting videos with Five Finger Death Punch and Shinedown. You know, so we're just kind of blown away, and we feel very fortunate that we got to work with Justin. You know, he's a super cool guy, super talented, and definitely keep your ear out for him because he's got some fantastic videos out there, and we're excited for ours to come out. We can't wait to see what he does for us.
Now, hearing you talk about him like that's got to be humbling for some people and show how humble you are, because you got a pretty cool musical history yourself. Now, folks that will remember Roy as the singer in Mark Ferrari's band Cold Sweat, and not many people can say they've been on tour with Dio, can they?
Not a lot of people can say that, no. And I was very lucky enough that Cold Sweat was also managed by Wendy Dio. So, you know, I mean, man, I was a kid from North Carolina. I was doing the bar circuit, and I was like 23 years old. I happened upon the gig by accident. We were playing down in Florida. This cat comes up to me, and by that time, I'd already been playing the bar circuit for 7.5 years, and I've dealt with enough drunk people in my life, you know. So this cat comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're the greatest. I've got this friend. He just left this band out in L.A. They're managed by Wendy Dio. Mark Ferrari's the guitar player from Keel. Here's his phone number. Give him a call." And I'm like, "Sure, man, absolutely, no problem." So I take the phone number, I shove it in my jeans, and I don't think anything about it. Well, when bands are out on the road for long periods of time, you got to do your laundry. So one day, we're doing our laundry, and I reach in my pocket, and I pull out this phone number, and I see Mark Ferrari. And I'm like, I just got to call this number. And I call him, and it's like, "Hello?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I met this cat named Eddie Law, and he's trying to tell me that you're Mark Ferrari, and you're looking for a singer." And he's like, "Yeah, I am. This is Mark." And I'm like, I cover the phone, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is really Mark, you know?" So I go, "Hey, man, you know, Eddie saw me performing at a club. I would love the chance to audition." And Mark was like, "Look, here's the deal. We've already basically decided on a guy." He goes, "The label's phone people out. We have no more money." He goes, "If you want to fly yourself out on your dime, I'll let you audition for the band. I'll let you sleep on my floor in my apartment, and we'll take it from there." And I'm like, okay. So I flew out there on a Monday. I auditioned on a Wednesday, and I was signing a record deal on a Friday. It happened just that fast. I mean, it was literally very similar to the whole Rockstar movie, you know, of how fast it went. And, you know, from there we went right into pre-production. We went right into the studio, and thanks to Wendy, we went right out onto the road and got to tour with Ronnie for over 6 months on the Lock Up the Wolves tour. I was roommates with Rowan Robertson, his guitar player, you know, the 17-year-old wonder kid. And, you know, it was just an incredible experience for me. I got to tour all over the country. I got to do massive super rock festivals in Mannheim, Germany with Aerosmith and Whitesnake. And, you know, I got to see the world. And besides getting super rich and super famous, I've pretty much done everything that there is to do as far as like being in the whole, you know, rock band thing. And, you know, I'm very fortunate, man. I don't want to be one of those bitter guys that is stuck in the past and is, you know, pissed off at the world that I didn't get to become Axl Rose. I look at it as, you know, I'm lucky, and I'm lucky that it happened when it did, because even though it was at the end of the whole hair band thing and the whole grunge thing was taking over, and I got to do the tour buses. We got huge advances for our merchandising, our publishing, our recording advances. You know what I mean? I mean, bands nowadays, you know, nothing against them, because the Fifth is riding around in a van as well. A lot of these newer bands that get signed nowadays, they don't get to do that stuff necessarily. You know what I mean? They don't get the full tour bus and so, you know, I really got to experience the music industry right before it went into shit.
Now, as somebody who is just like a huge fan of Dio, did you ever just get a moment to like sit down and have a beer with him, or just have a private conversation with Ronnie?
Well, you know, this is something that I'm very proud of, and that I like to talk about whenever asked. I actually got to smoke with Ronnie Dio. You know, that's something that not a lot of people can say. But one thing I can say is, you know, I got to spend time with Ronnie on several occasions, one-on-one. One of my fondest memories, you know, you got to understand, man, I was a kid from North Carolina. All of a sudden, I'm out in L.A., and I'm living at Wendy Dio's house until I find an apartment. And, You know, I get invited to Ronnie James Dio's Halloween costume party contest, and you're going up to the door, and Ronnie answers the door dressed as Napoleon. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've got so many memories of Ronnie, and I stood on the stage, on the side of the stage every night that we were on tour with him, just watching him and learning so much from him about how he deals with the fans and the audience and just how humble he is. And he always really made it clear that the fans are the reason that you're there. And Ronnie was a great man, and he really gave me a lot of great advice. And I view him as the greatest heavy metal singer that's ever walked the earth. So I got a lot of respect for Ronnie, and I consider myself very lucky to have had the moments with him that I did.
Man, and I'm so jealous of those opportunities you had. He's somebody I always would have loved to have spoken to. So, hey, before I let you go, I know you've been doing a lot of shows. Do you have any? I know you guys have done Farm Rock, you've done Skull Fest and Rock and Skull. Do you have any festivals coming up this summer? Or are you gonna keep doing, the kind of touring thing?
We're kind of doing the festivals right now. We're kind of in the middle of writing new material, recording new material, releasing a single. You know, we're out there trying to still do the thing, but it's kind of hard to do the thing full time now because, you know, I mean, you know as well as I do, you know, the money's not in it anymore. It's never about the money, but it's hard to go out there and travel. I mean, you can't put dreams in a gas tank. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some kind of income coming in to move the project forward. So luckily, you know, I mean, with people like Bradley and we've got venues in Virginia that we could play at to get us to point A to point B. You know, we're out there. Our shows are a bit sporadic. You know, we try and do the festivals and stuff that we get invited to, but, you know, right now the band is just at that point to where, you know, you call us and if we can get there, we'll play.
So we'll definitely keep an eye on that schedule, and we'll keep an eye out for sure for the new video coming out. So this has been Roy from the Fifth, and man, I had an absolute pleasure talking with you. I had a pleasure watching you guys play last weekend down at the after party there for M3. So thanks so much for being on the show, man.
Hey, man, my pleasure, and thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it very much.